Now, how many of you have ever heard of a pregnant man? Raise your hand. All right, sure you have. You're talking about weirdos now, aren't we? Pregnant men. You never thought you'd ever hear of such a thing, did you? We see this is what's happening with his invasion of gods. Yes, sir. When they come, they bring their spirit. When they bring their spirit, they bring their perversion. When they bring their perversion, they bring their ancient religion. And that's where this all came. None of this is new. This is ancient religion. This is ancient. It goes back to the time when male was female, female was male, and male and female were both in one. They loved to parade back then, 2,000 years ago. They would parade and they would march and they would emasculate themselves. And then they would carry the very knife that they did it with in a parade in front of the one that they worshiped. This was part of the great ancient worship of the androgyny or the androgynous, the ancient worship of that which perverts the real meaning of life and procreation that God has set forth. You're watching it happen. It hasn't been that long ago when confronted by one of our elected representatives on the Hill, some so-called doctor, the representative said, "Would you please tell me, can a man have a baby?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, and on it goes, and here's bottom line. Can you carry on a conversation with a madman? No, you can't converse with these people, folks. They've gone off the deep end. But there's an agenda. This is what's important. There's an agenda going on here. This is not happening. Nothing happens in a void. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Nature hates a vacuum. Anytime a vacuum forms, something will jump right in to that vacuum. And so America lost its way, lost the spirit and power of God. America said no to God, took prayer out of the schools, turned its back on the Lord. The preachers quit preaching the truth, quit preaching Christ and Him crucified. All of these things happened in America. And so what's left? Now I'll tell you what's left. Men having babies. Now here's the point. If you can receive in your spirit the idea that a man can have a baby, then I want you to listen carefully to what follows that I'm about to give you. How many has ever heard of Tom Horn? Tom Horn. I quote these people. Please understand me. When I quote somebody, folks, and you should be the same way, that doesn't mean I agree with everything they say. That doesn't mean I agree with every position they take. But the truth is the truth. The devil quoted the truth. It came from the mouth of Satan, but it's still the truth. Tom Horn, in a book entitled The Belly of the Beast, he mentions the highest order of the satanic religion in this country. They expect a seed to rise out of the earth and give birth to the anointed one. Now think about what I just said to you. A seed rise up out of the earth, and underneath the Washington Monument, they say there is a capsule buried that's supposed to be the mode that the seed comes through. Now think about this, the capital of the United States. You have a rotunda, which would represent the womb. Then you have an obelisk, which would represent the male reproductive organ. And the two of them together produce something. That's the point. You can go to Rome, Italy, and you'll find a counterpart to that. Just like it. If I were in Rome and I were one of these cardinals over there and it had something to do with whatever they called themselves, I'd sit down and look at that and I'd say to myself, now wait a minute. They drugged that thing all the way up from Egypt. That obelisk at Rome came from Egypt. I would say to myself, why do we have this out here? Is this glorifying God? What are we doing? These two things represent a birth. They represent a coming forth. Now in the ancient Egyptian religion, you have Osiris, Isis, Horus, and on it goes. What you have is death, murder, and then you have resurrection. You have birth that comes forth from the male counterpart. Are you getting this now? A birth from the male counterpart. They're preparing this country and the world for a male spirit to bring forth a child in this world. Say, that's wild and crazy stuff. You're not watching what's going on, are you? When's the last time you turned your television set on and you saw these commercials come across your TV where two sodomites are kissing? How many have seen that? How many have seen that yet? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? That's not coming. It's here now. You've seen that, haven't you? Did they ask you if that's okay to do that in front of your children? Of course not. Do you know why? Corporate America is interested in one thing, a dollar bill. There may be some zealots here and there among them who have a, have a motive or a religion involved with it. Most of them, it is the love of money. That's all they care about. If they can make a dollar bill from it, that's all they care about. But why do we have men having children? Because once you receive the spirit of men having children, you can understand the mystical understanding of what's going on here. Because this thing is going to unfold before long, before your eyes. And it won't be a physical birth like a child is born. It will be a birth, though. And the people will accept it. And what is the birth? The birth is their Messiah. It is their seed. It is their Antichrist. And he might have already been born, as far as we know. That spirit might have already come up out of there. It might have entered in, and they may be out there. He may be out there right now. You might have seen him on television. Who knows? The Bible talks about the time when he shall be revealed. Then shall that man of sin be revealed, whom the Lord shall destroy, the brightness of his coming. We don't know, but we know this. We're close, because all of the groundwork is being laid for that kind of thing to happen right before your very eyes. Who'd ever thought you'd see something like that? It's all connected with the seed of the prophecy of Genesis 3:15.